Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Absurdity fans. What are we doing? What is happening? The moon landing. What a wake-up call for me. Bad. All things bad. I had 4, maybe 5 people within 3 or 4 hours after the landing, right? People I don't know, people I've been talking to on the chat, on the pages. See, we did it again now, what you got to say? No. The first thing I said is, where is the footage? Because I've seen nothing, right? I'm thinking, there's another channel on. They're showing the real one, right? No. That's all there is. So what's happened is they haven't shown any moon, they haven't shown any space, they haven't shown the lander, it's all animated. And then there was a bit of a mishap, quick patch sent like they did to Ingenuity and Voyager, because it's never been tried before, they lost control. This thing was done and dusted, but they pulled it, didn't they? They pulled an Apollo 13. They solved something that was just about unsolvable, right? Which is great, because now it's a talking point, so close. They must have gone, because it was so close, they would have gone through all that. But what's happened is it's landed, it's got 6 legs. It's got one leg caught in a rock, and it's gone horizontal, isn't it? It's gone like the wear marks, the wear pattern on the pyramids, horizontal, flying down. So it's a shame, right? Because, listen, the amount of people that have been saying to me, see, we went. Things are worse than I thought. I just hope that you realise what I said about the evidence, and I said this is the way it's going to happen, and what happened? Exactly that. It's just so predictable, right? You know why it's so predictable? Because they aren't there. Man-made climate change. I said I was going to do this, but this honestly, it's bowled me over a little bit, hearing people and seeing the comments. It really has. You do not need any evidence. You have become, and we just don't need any evidence. We believe it. We believe it. Don't think it's dangerous. It's already happening. Planet Earth. 2/3 of it is water. This is to do with man-made climate change now. 2/3 of it is water. Right? Diameter is 12,762. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one. 12,762 kilometers. Okay? From there to there. The crust of any given place on this planet, right, it's between about 4, 5, 6, as thin as that, to up to 100 kg, depending where you are on the planet. If you're in like Europe, Central Europe, you've got all that land around you, then it's going to be thick, right? If you're like us here now, like coastal places like that, where you're near the ocean, goes down, etc., etc., it could be as thin as 4, 5, 6 kilometers, right? And under that, well, we know what the volcanoes do, don't we? It's molten. So what we have beneath us is a fucking inferno. Yeah. It's sculpture. Alright? Now, this is about man-made climate change, common sense. But after seeing what I've seen in the comments about this latest moon landing, I'm not sure about the common sense at all anymore. Right? Because common sense is the ability, should be a natural thing. I think so. And I need to see something else, please. People. So, 12,762, that's the diameter. You've got a crust that goes round it, 5 Ks to 100 Ks, let's say, right, depending where you are. Underneath that, it's molten. Alexa, how deep under the crust does the melting heat rock start?
From studycountry.com. Lava is hot for 2 primary reasons. Pressure and radiogenic heating make it very hot deep in the earth, about 100 kilometers down, where rocks melt to make magma.
Okay, fine. So, mad with that. Does become shallower, obviously, but I'm not even going to argue with her because she's Jekyll and Hyde. She's another one that just makes it up as she goes along, and that is a fact. Alexa, are black holes logical? Alexa, are black holes logical?
From herbicides.com. There are no reported side effects for black hole, and the herb is considered.
Alexa, stop. Right, so now we have the volcanic activity on the planet that we're living on this little tiny bit of crust, yeah? Between 5 and 10, this scale, it's too big, there's too much crust, it would be thinner. If you were looking at this, you know, if we had the planet for real, it would be thinner, right? At any given time, we've got 30 or 40 erupting volcanoes. Alexa, how many volcanoes are actively erupting today?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Alexa, how many volcanoes on planet Earth are in eruption mode?
From Forbes.com.
See, you did know.
There are 40 volcanoes erupting on Earth right now.
Alexa, I asked you that question before and you said you didn't know. What changed?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
But 40 is about right. 35 to 45, right? Active volcanoes spewing stuff. It's a lot. They tell you that volcanic activity doesn't do anything, don't they? You believe it, yeah? Then we've got the underwater eruptions. Now, 80% of the eruptions on this planet happen in the water, right? So for every one up here, there's 4 or 5 happening in the water, right? It's chaos. The planet has a molten core, right? The tectonic plates move on the molten core, which causes the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the continents changing, mixing and matching and colliding. The mountains are created by tectonic plates crashing against each other and they go up. Man-made climate change. Man-made climate change. So yeah, 2/3 water. In that water, right? So this is the top. And this can be the seabed, right? There's loads of eruptions, mountains coming up. Some of them are 3 and 4 kilometers wide at the bottom, right? And they climb up halfway up, 2-3 kilometers, and they're coming up from the seabed. They're eruptions, mountains, the Canary Islands, Hawaii, islands, rock, right? Man-made climate change. There's something else I was going to say about this, but I'm not going to do it today because I'm going to make that a separate thing. But it's one of those eureka moments, you know, when the apple drops and the guy sorted gravity out and everything in the orbits of the planets, and every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. I think it was him, wasn't it? Or was that Newton? Einstein get hit by the apple? Anyway, listen, doesn't matter. So under the ocean, there's probably 150 to 200 going on. Some of these things are halfway up. And there is no way that they have all of them. There's no way that they've mapped all of them, is there? Right? the Tonga water eruption, right? Boom! Sent a shockwave around the planet, went around twice. People died. Not many, but people died from the tsunami. It happened in Indonesia, right? And it went, no, Indonesia, Tonga, sorry, the islands further down in the Pacific. The US, all the way down, Australia felt some, Indonesia. A shockwave, massive, it was the biggest water eruption that humans have ever recorded, right? So this happened in December 21 or January 22, right? 2 years ago. Now, this is one water eruption. I've been telling this to people, people go, you really believe that is why the climate is hot? Listen, I have been on this planet for a long time. I've had winters in a lot of places, right? And I've had summer in a lot of places. And the last 2 years, right, it is freakishly hot. The humidity, it's different, right? But before that, so we had a couple of heat waves, but we always get heat waves, but not like this. This is going over into the winter, right? So the winter months in the countries where it's cold, Northern Hemisphere, it's the whole Christmas, December, January, February, freezing, right? And down here in the Southern Hemisphere, we've got the summer, and it is escorcho, isn't it? It's, even today, I mean, it's just the humidity. It's the moisture in the atmosphere from the Tonga water eruption. It is not man-made climate change. Prove it, prove it. It's common sense. There's footage of the eruption. There's a big hole in the ocean, right? It's a fact, right? It's common sense. It would be stupid to deny it. So yeah, so that, you've got that happening, right? All of this under the water is going to change the currents, right? The water's going to move differently. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. Things don't just like happen randomly because everything is connected. An absurdity. El Niño. La Niña. The rubbish. The predictions. It's claiming knowledge that cannot be known, right? No, they say that this happens because of, if it gets to a certain temperature, is it in the Pacific Ocean or the Indian Ocean, or something like that? Hang on, look, it's very, where is it they show us? Is it Indian Ocean, isn't it? There's something going on here and something going on over South America side. It doesn't matter what it is they say. So they work that out, right? But why not work out why that happens and go that one step before it? See, the reason for that heat, not just, oh, it starts when this is extra hot. Why start there? If it starts when that is extra hot, can you not find out what makes it extra hot, right? And you could just keep going. There's no end, right? It's like a loop, right? And they get it wrong all of the time. You cannot know what the climate is going to do next year. Look at the Tonga water eruption. Look at the last 2 years. You can't predict what the climate is doing. Nobody can. You can kind of guess. The Northern Hemisphere in June, July, August, it's hot. It has been for donkeys. Down in the Southern Hemisphere, it's cold. It rains sometimes. Sometimes it's hot. Sometimes there's a heat wave. Sometimes there's a bit of a drought. Sometimes there's floods. It's a planet, isn't it? It's got a molten core. And of course, it's in an elliptical orbit around a star that's got a diameter, allegedly, of 1,390,000 kilometers. Not allegedly it's got a diameter, I'm talking about the numbers. So here you are. in an orbit, an elliptical orbit, around a mass. And as you can see lately, unstable and unpredictable nuclear fusion. People can cook eggs on the sidewalk in some countries in the summer, right? And we did it in Spain once, I think, many years ago when I was a kid, right? This is where you live. What part of man-made climate change is an absurdity? Don't people get? You honestly think that by ordering electric cars, that you're somehow going to put the brakes on where this planet has already decided it's going to go? You honestly think that all this crap that goes on, right, the green energy and this, you honestly think it's going to make a difference to your living conditions temperature-wise? Look, this planet hiccups once. We just had a minor baby one, right? 100 tons of water eruption. Plus, moisture circled the planet. 3 months, 4 months, right? Everywhere. That's one tiny eruption. I say it's about common sense. And they have people alarmed, right? About 1 to 1.5 degrees Celsius rise in temperature over something like 150 years. Do you know how lucky that is? It's ridiculous, right? There is no evidence for man-made climate change anywhere. It's impossible to pinpoint why the climate is warming, because there are too many variables. It could be happening because of something that's happening under the water, right? It could be because the moisture, the water, the ice. There are too many variables going on. This is why they keep saying scientists are confused at this. It cannot exist. Oh, this black hole is too big. It should not be here. Where's that galaxy gone, right? All of the time, they're getting things wrong. The reason that they get things wrong, the reason that they're constantly saying, oh, our models didn't pick up, it's because they don't know. There's too many variables. They can't know that the sun is going to blow in 4 to 5 billion years' time. That's what they say, don't they? Going to be that big dwarf thing. Big red planet, going to suck half the solar system in and then do one. Push! How do they know this? They've only had a telescope in the 2 up there. 30-something years, I think the Hubble went up. 30 years ago, 35 years ago. JW has been up there, what, a couple of years, year and a half, right? How are they calling that our star is going to die in as old as our planet is in time? Well, again, a pinch of salt. I do not believe much of what they say, because a lot of what they say can't be known. Bang, the end. Don't start saying no, because for most of you, you've just seen a convincing moon landing, so you've kind of lost a little bit of street cred when it comes to things about evidence, because you obviously don't need much, right? You don't need any, in fact. So again, man-made climate change is highly logical. There would be no way of knowing if everything that's being done is working. It's stupid, right? It's stupid. It's like you've got 20,000 things that it could be, and they've got one, right? And what is it? An increase of 200 parts per million of carbon dioxide in a million of atmosphere, right? Oh no, it's gone to 400 parts per million in 1 million of atmosphere. is it going to make any difference, right? These graphs that they say, they make it look, oh yes, it has doubled, yeah? It's doubled. It's like if I've got $1 million and my favorite chocolate bar, right, goes from 20 cents to 40 cents. But somebody goes, but it's doubled. It's doubled. But look at the numbers. It's common sense again. Double to 400 parts per million. So what if it goes to 1,000 parts per million? It's still, what is it that has happened to people's critical thinking, the working out, the basic problem solving things? Are people just walking around bumping into things, right? This is ridiculous. All of it is ridiculous. All these tiny miniature numbers that they keep throwing at people, trying to make it seem like it means something, like the 1/10. The 1/10 of a second that an atomic clock would lose if it ran for 14 billion. How are people believing this junk, right? Because that's all it is. That is something that cannot be known. What about the camera that can take 10 trillion frames per second? How does that work? But everybody just loves it. You don't need evidence of anything. Your moon landings is up here. Space travel is up here. There is nothing going to happen up there. And that is a fact, right? It's been going on for 50 years, 50 plus years. Look what happened. There's not even people on it, right? And again, what's happened? Wake up, right? It's actually frustrating. I just hope that people aren't dissing what I'm saying, because I might have come across as a little bit angry and arrogant, as I've been called at the beginning of this. I have been doing this for so long, and I am starting to see this, I don't know what to call it, lack of common sense, lack of critical thinking skills. The need, blind trust in everything that people are saying to other people about the universe, about the speed of light, about the pyramids, about man-made climate change, about the moon landings, right? Where is the evidence? There is none, right? You sit down, pick all these subjects, like a detective being objective, you will see what I mean, right? But if you just carry on with this yada yada, we went to the moon, it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite the children so fucking hard, right? But it already is starting to. I mean, didn't your parents pass it down to you and pass it down to the kids? Do you know how difficult it is to reverse something like this? First thing you've got to do is look at the numbers, right? And use logic and common sense. Stop believing in absurdities. Stop believing the impossible is possible. Start looking at the numbers. Start looking at the things that are being shown and being said. And start connecting some dots. I've got them all connected, right? So that's about it. I've been enjoying myself on GTA. I have been GTA binging, which has been good, because I haven't played it for well over a year. I'm still rusty, but it's been good. I was going to go into, it bowled me over, this moon landing thing tonight, like today. Honestly, it left me kind of speechless, the amount of comments I was getting. See, we did it again. Now what have you got to say? Have you seen the moon landing, mate? Jeez. No, I haven't seen the moon landing. I've seen some animated stuff, and then I saw all of these people in the control room clapping, families. They don't know, and this is exactly what happened. I know it for a fact, right? Because they didn't go, but none of the families knew, and that means the astronauts didn't know, so they found out at the very last minute. I bet you that's how it happened. Nearly guaranteed, because they wouldn't risk anybody knowing right until the last minute. That was important. It is a tight grip issue. National security. I guarantee you, it will come out. It will come out. They can't carry on this ridiculousness much longer. They can't. I hope I planted a seed. I hope people are being a bit more suspicious, a bit more inquisitive about what's being told. Because moon landing? No, that was not a moon landing. That was a pantomime. That is how they are all the time. You just don't see it because you're not objective enough. I knew it was going to be something like that. And the story, there's always a story. There's always something that people can go back to and say, yeah, I know. Can you believe that? Come on, right? It's child stuff. Anyway, I'm going to have another GTA blast tonight. And tomorrow, I'm still not sure. Maybe we've got some footage of the moon tomorrow we could talk about. El Niño, La Niña. It starts because it gets hot here at this time of year. No, you know so much. Why does it get hot there that time of year? Let's go back to the next one and go back to the next one and see why that happens before that happens before that happens. It's ridiculous. It's a loop. It's a coin flip. Cannot predict the climate on a planet with a molten core that's in an elliptical orbit around a star, right? There's volcanic activity that keeps the planet pumping, right? It's the heart and soul that change, it churns it up, the chemical reactions, new civilization will come along. Hopefully with some common sense. God, I hope it's not as bad as this one. I'm looking forward to it though. Just kidding. See you later, peeps.